Welcome to the third program on Developmentally Appropriate Practice, or DAP, produced by the National Association for the Education of Young Children. This program focuses on play. Play, many observers have said, is children's chief business in life. Play is important for the physical, social, emotional, and cognitive development of all young children. Through play, children make sense of their world, interact with others in social ways, and express and regulate emotions. Through play, children develop their imagination and their problem-solving and pretend skills. Through play, children develop executive functions, a set of cognitive abilities that control and regulate other abilities and behaviors that allow us to delay gratification to think and consider possible alternative actions. We intuitively know when children are playing. What are its characteristics? 1. Children enjoy play. Deb Leong, who has studied play for many years, has stated, "One of the great strengths of play is that children love to do it. I mean, it's the most engrossing and exciting thing that they can do." Dorothy Strickland emphasizes the critical value of engagement in play.
But engagement is so very important. If you've ever watched a youngster at play with blocks, or in the housekeeping corner, or playing over in the library corner and rereading a book that has been read to him or to her, they're engaged. Very often they're trying to figure out something. They are solving problems. They are intrigued about what they're doing, and they hang in there. We talk about self-regulation. They have a sense that they hang in there, they'll solve this problem, and they have a purpose.
2. As children play, there is flexibility in their purpose and in how it unfolds.
The persistence. I think that's another really important thing, is seeing how children are willing to work through something that might be a little bit frustrating for them. And what kind of resources are they using in order for them to be able to accomplish a goal? And are they flexible in their thinking? Are they able then to make those adjustments to their original plan that they're making? And, which children kind of get stuck and need that support to get over that next step. And we've seen that with children as they've grown over the years, throughout the year, with their flexibility and their ability to make adjustments.
3. Children seek out opportunities to play, and in it they determine what happens. Peter and Iona Opie, longtime students of children's play around the world and over the centuries, have said, "As long as the action of the game is of the child's own making, he is ready, even anxious, to sample the perils of which this world has such plentiful supply. In the security of the game, he makes acquaintance with insecurity. He is able to rationalize absurdities, reconcile himself to not getting his own way, assimilate reality, act heroically without being in danger."
Play is something that to me is so motivating. That is something that is their choice. They get excitement out of. I think we've made a big mistake when we ignore play. Talk about developmentally appropriate. Play is the most appropriate part. It just is.
4. There is a non-literal, non-realistic aspect to play. The theorist, Lev Vygotsky, points out that play is serious yet not serious, real yet not real. Children use props in many ways, sometimes as symbols for other items. This is most obvious in socio-dramatic play, but can also be seen in the pretend fighting of what we call rough and tumble or big body play, and in constructive play as well. Children know they are not building a real fort as they stack blocks, and play is not a stressful endeavor for children. They are highly engaged in an enjoyable activity, and research has shown that the playful mind is ideal for creativity and the learning of new skills. Watch the following scene of 2 preschoolers engaged in play. You can see their enjoyment, flexibility, and awareness of the pretend aspect of their play.
Wallow. Are you going to add to it? No babies under here.
No?
No babies under here.
Why not? Are they sleeping?
No. Yeah, they sleep in the house.
Oh.
Yeah. So we can bring them. We don't want when we put them when we let them go without the letter, they sleep. Then they make the peace sound.
Oh.
And they cry. So we don't want them to cry again.
Why not put the babies in the car?
Because these are lawnmowers.
Oh.
We pretending.
They're lawnmowers now.
We pretending.
Okay.
We pretending. We just pretending.
As important as it is, times have changed for play. In their home life, children are engaged in more screen time and programmed activities. And at many schools, playtimes are cut short to fit in requirements tied to sometimes inappropriate accountability measures. Listen to Leong share her concerns about children's lack of play opportunities.
20 years ago, children came to school having played. You know, they ran out in the summer. Even little kids were with older siblings and they played with other people so that they learned play skills that our children today don't. Childhood has really changed, and children come to preschool without having very much play practice, and if they don't get it in preschool, when they go home, they don't play much at home. And I think it's a real myth to think that play will just spontaneously arise out of children. Really, it's something that we have passed generation after generation of childhood. The older children taught the next younger, and as they got older, they taught the next younger child. So what you had in our society before, whether you lived in rural Kansas or even in New York City, you had this culture of childhood where the skills of play were passed from one generation of children to the next. And that is really lacking nowadays. We don't have that kind of situation anymore. Children spend a lot of time being entertained. And so that's why play is really preschool and kindergarten are the last bastion for teaching play to young children. The most important thing about making play happen for young children is they need to have someone teach them how to do it. Play is not something, as I said before, that arises naturally. It's a myth to think it just happens. And it's taught to you by someone. And if it's not going to be an older sibling or someone in the neighborhood that's older than you, then it has to be the teacher.
There is no dichotomy between play and learning or between play and development. The two go hand in hand. There is an interplay of domains as children refine such skills as fine motor and incorporate them into play with manipulatives or sociodramatic scenes with dress-up clothes. And teachers play a critical role in integrating math, literacy, and science into play. Here are some comments from early childhood professionals about this integration.
An unfortunate thing that sometimes people think about is, well, if I do math, then I'm not doing play. But a lot of math can be learned through play, and even the primary math, when you're teaching a specific kind of math concept for 5 minutes or something, will enrich the play that goes on then for hours. So it's not an either-or, it's a both-and situation.
Play is a cornerstone for how young children learn. It's especially important, again, for English language learners because it gives them this opportunity to make connections with their English-speaking peers, which they have to have in order to acquire English. And it compels them to get out of their comfort zone because they need peer social interaction. All young kids want to socialize with their peers. And in order to do that, this sort of imaginative, complex language that often occurs in dramatic play areas and play scenarios that kids create, that compels in a very natural way the language abilities of young children, much more so than we would do if we structure a very formal situation for them. So they feel they take risks. They take language risks so that they can find these new peers and these new friends in those contexts and expand their social opportunities in classroom. You see this over and over and over again, that they will buddy up, they will peer up, they will extend themselves in order to participate, in some sort of enjoyable play interaction that kids just naturally gravitate to and learn so much from.
Primarily because I see play as a very integral piece to how children learn into childhood. That I view play as the tool or the mechanism through which children are making sense of their world, and that they really do need that time to reinvent and recreate and act out and test ideas and really construct their own understandings of what they're seeing in the world and what we're presenting to them. At the same time, I think that it is really critical that we integrate play with their academic or their pre-academic learning, and that I also think that the more naturally we can do that, the richer their learning is, the more deeply they understand what they're learning. So in terms of literacy development, we do have a separate time in our classroom where we do some dedicated, targeted literacy activities with the children. And we also embed those activities into their play. And so when the children play restaurant in the dramatic play area, we put out all sorts of printed materials like menus and open and closed signs and order taking pads and little spiral bound books for them to make notes in and take orders. We added this year, it's been very interesting to see how their worlds intersect with our classroom. This year in the restaurant play, not only did we add telephones for making takeout orders, but we also added a keyboard to simulate the computer so they could order food online, because that happens for some of them in their worlds now.
Play